Hello, welcome to Mystic Moons. Today we're going to take a comfortable trip for some, and for others, an uncomfortable trip. But let's explore love. Let's explore relationships. Now, being in love is wonderful. It's absolutely great. You get so much energy, positive feelings, your heart beats. Oh, it's just great. And it's nice, it's really wonderful to know that somebody cares about you. So you can't, like they say, you can't hurry love, or you can't, there's nothing, love is just fabulous. However, let's talk about some of the parts of love. Now, love isn't just for the moment. Love is for, like, not just for the week. Love is for long term. I'm going to make a commitment to you. It's really fabulous love. However, once you, day one, day 2 weeks, 2 months pass, you start to your lover in an unique manner. And somewhere down the line, you start to find out about your lover's past loves. So, okay, you get over the fact that, all right, I wasn't the first. Okay. But then you find out maybe I wasn't the second love of my lover. Okay. I wasn't there. I'm me and you're him and we click. But then again, you find out more. So, and then let's say you happen to meet one of your lover's past lovers. And then you start looking at his Facebook or his Instagram and you recognize the names. The longer you're with someone, the more you know about them, right? Yeah. So, how do you start to feel about your husband's or your boyfriend's past lovers? How does the past, and then being like first gushes of love, you said, okay, so he's not my first love, and I'm not his first love, but did I know that there were this many? Am I just one of the tribes? Or, am I part of the army? Whatever it is, you got to say, whoa, wait a minute. Or the same thing. If you find out you're a husband and your wife has had other lovers besides you, okay, as you said, you were not the first man in her life, but then again, you found out that you weren't even the second. This is third, or maybe you were number 15, or maybe it's just like you don't want to think about it. Maybe after 4 or 5, you go, okay. And then, like, and sometimes, people, lovers ask each other, like, who were you in love for? Or maybe their friends tell you when, when whatever his name or whatever her name is was involved with so and so and so. It comes out. You can't hide that stuff, and you can't dismiss it. So how do you feel about how do you feel about your lovers past loves? Did he do the same things? Did he go to the same parks, the same moves in bed? I mean, what? I mean, is it the same? Does it feel the same? What happened? What made them split up? Or was he as irresponsible, or she responsible as she was for them? For what happened? What happened? Just like didn't work out, wrong chemistry. But how far did they go? How far did they go? And this is the clincher. Are they still friends? Are they still in contact? Isn't there a song out that, like, a past lover, she finds out that her boyfriend of then is now a married man, and she's still, like, is after him. She's still hot for him. And she still says, why can't you be with me too? What if that happens? What would you do? How would you feel? So tonight, let's just think about how did you deal? How would you deal? How do you deal with your lover's past lovers? Does it make you feel good? Part of a club or special because there is none? You're the first. Or you say like, well, okay, you've been trained to say, okay, I'm not your first lover, but I'll be your last. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? That you're going to be their last lover? And does it feel as good? You got to get this one. Does it feel as good with me as it felt with them or the other person? I mean, or can I live up to this woman's expectations of me since she's had relations with other people? Is she going to be satisfied with me? All these things. Do I have a? I mean, it gets more as you can imagine. It gets more complex and more detailed. But how do you feel without going into all the P's and Q's of the salad? How do you feel about your lover's past? Is it a baggage or is it luggage? I learned or I didn't learn. Or would you rather not know? But sometimes that information comes out, whether you choose to actively find out. It just happens because you have the same friends, you have friends in common. His friends are your friends, her friends are your friends. Like that. How does it feel to have knowledge of your lover's lovers? How does it feel? It's a kind of a mixed emotion. I mean, how do you deal with it? Then you think, okay, so it's okay as long as the past lovers are in the past, they're not in front of my face. Not when I go outside, stuff like that. I don't have to deal with it. So it's none of my business. So it's no concern. However, with airplane travel, business arrangements, Facebook, Instagram, texts, phone texts, Gmail, there's ways of making that time just shoot up. It just happens. You can find out. Some people just don't say, okay, it's okay. I like this person. I love this person. And that's what matters. But some people, some people don't always feel that way. I mean, what if you found out, let's say you're in a relationship, and all of a sudden this drop dead gorgeous woman appears. Or she's just giggly and flirty, but she's still a very attractive woman. And she's just very familiar with your lover. And let's say you know nothing of their history. And then you ask, or, you just like, how does that make you feel? Or there are some women that just like close the door. I don't want to hear it. This is me and this is my home and this is our family. However, are you sure? I mean, how do you deal with it? Do you just how do you deal with it? Do you go through his phone? Do you go through her phone? I mean, how do you deal with it? Do you, okay, of course, you have communication about it, and he swears or she swears that never, 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 it's over. But what if the other person, their other lover, their other past lover, doesn't feel that way, and they're around? They're around you and your present relationship. It's kind of sticky, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, what about the woman who, like, yeah, I mean, we could have worked it out, but we were crazy, and I still think highly of him, and or he says this, he says it, like even his past wife. It could be, yeah, your past wife. her mother used to say this and that to me. I mean, stuff like that. Little comments, little things, and you wonder. I mean, some people live and breathe their entire life in 5 miles. They stay within a 5-10 mile radius. So that gets pretty cozy, all those talkings and all those relationships. And it's just, especially if you came from out of town and then you go back to his hometown or her hometown and you start to make your life together and then you find out certain things. How does that become baggage to you? Do you think or you're just dealing with it? Of course, maybe some people just don't care about things like that. But but how do you deal with it? I mean, do you if the person as let's say, two lovers, they parted, and then the other one did not have a happy outcome, and they're still lonely and still looking, and they miss the good old days. And of course, maybe the good old days for the other partner is evaporated, but to the other person, it has not evaporated. You take her aside and say, "Look," or him aside and say, "Look, I'm perfectly happy now, and what we had, we had." What if, and then you know, then seemingly okay, okay, but then it is not really okay, okay. Let's see how many people. Let's do a reading. How many people there have old loves become baggage to them? Their old lovers become like your lover's lovers. Let's see this one. Your love, will ask the kitty's wisdom. How do you deal with that? Yes, this one here. I mean, kitty, speak to me. Now let's see. How would you deal? Let's see. It's upside down. No, it's not upside down. So we have an upside down, reversed Empress. Well, you'd like feel some. Obviously, this is like you wouldn't feel very powerful. You feel a little insecure. You could feel a little funny, a little strange, a little something. You wouldn't feel like you wouldn't feel the total Empress feel. No, you'd feel a little neglected, shut down. It'd be an ego thing. Actually, they're all upside down. So we get, they're all, except for one. And then here is, we have the King of Cups. Well, you feel flattered, not you yourself. Let's say it depends where you're coming from. It depends. It would be a blow to both people. It would be a blow to both parties that when a past lover comes in their present scene, it would be a blow. And then here we have the Hangman. Yes, we have the Hangman. Look we have the Hangman. And this one would be like, so it would definitely have an effect on your present relationship. That's the whole thing. It's like, somebody can come out of the blue or out of the past and just have a tremendous effect on your relationship. And you could feel, how do I deal with this? Has it happened to any of you? Did it ever happen? Uh, did it ever? You have to you notice the way, I mean, woman to woman, you notice how were they dressed. You would notice, how they acted, their gaiety, if they were in a relationship. You notice all those things, man to man. You would notice how the same thing, how how they were fit, how they handled themselves, and you would notice that both of you would notice the effect on either it's a man that comes back or a woman that comes back, you notice the effect it had on your partner, right? And that's something that you would have to deal with. Now, this is a particular, you know, part of love. It's about accepting and dealing. And those are like, it's like taking out the garbage or cooking a meal. It's like, everyday things. These are part of the toils of relationship building. And the most important thing is like, it doesn't happen all the time, but unless you were married someone who never had any relationship with anyone else and you are the first, this would be something that you would deal with. I remember that from my readings during, let's say, the AIDS crisis of, like, I think it was the 80s, something like that. That they said that every partner that you were with, you you had their biology, that you integrated their body fluids into your body fluids. So it was their biology. So if you were like with someone and you were the only one, but you were with your partner who had like 25, 30 lovers plus, you were part of a species. Got it? You were part of a species because their cells. Now that was the thing in the 80s, and I guess in a way it also was kind of in fact the same person who did that study or headed that scene is the same person who did the COVID-19 things. So I mean this whole thing about just transference. Besides mentally, I'm talking physically. And then what if somebody got a disease? But that's another thing. We're talking now about emotional baggage, which, those physical things do make a point too. How would you feel? It happens. I mean, it's life, it's living. How did you feel? How would you deal with it? Would you go, you wouldn't knock over your lover because you found out more information, but would that make you feel, whiny or something? And then I'd say the other person comes clean and say, look, you're not the first person in my life I thought I was in love with, but I really turns out I wasn't in love with. And that makes you feel a certain way, right? It's a scary topic talking about past loves in relationships. It is a scary topic. Not one that takes like a lot of fortitude and love, acceptance. I mean, what happened happened. You can't like rewrite the novel that's already. You can write the next chapter, but you can't do anything about the past. Isn't that with us all? So I'm saying, just how would you think about these things? Would it be, something that gave you lots of tribulation? Would it be something that made you feel, on a day maybe where you're bored? I mean, would it take like some of the glue out of you, some of the togetherness out of you? It could take some of the togetherness out. Well, it would be nice if you say hi and you can share your experiences. You can share what you experienced about that forbidden. Ooh, that's almost like the apple, right? How many people have you taken the bite of the apple with, or I mean, granted, people are so busy today, they don't have time to like rehash the past. I mean, you got to pay the bills, you got to shop, you got to clean, you got to like be nice to you, be cool with your job. I mean, there's a lot on the table. However, in the quiet moments, when you think about it, it's possible. You never know who pops back in, who just decides to come back in. I mean, it's something that deserves some thought. Well, nobody wants to say, I found out about my lover's lovers. And so what? So what? I'm better than all of them. That's why he's with me or she's with me. I'm the best. And let's say you are the best, but somebody else, maybe it still is just dealing with it. Maybe sometimes on a rainy day or a snowy day or a wintry day, you start thinking, you just feel a little something. Sometimes your partner feels a little detached. And you can wonder, is he or she have something else going on? Or what if you have a husband that takes off every 2 weeks? Every 2 weeks on, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, for work, business. And then you have plenty of time by yourself. I mean, in the beginning, it's like that was like heartbreak. You were like heartbroken to be alone for 2 weeks every month. But then after a while, you like, hurry up and go. Hurry up and leave. Okay, see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care of yourself. And then you start like filling your day with activities. Well, my work takes me this and it's interesting, and I do this and this and that. And then, just a natural progression. And then you start to forget. Lots of people that are married or have relationships aren't in front of each other all the time. So you get your own sense of self. I mean, a lot of women have their own sense of self. And men, they have their own sense of self. So you're just, as I said, you're by yourself 2 weeks, 3 weeks out of every month. So, and then you just, you're out a lot. You do a lot, you're out a lot. And, things happen. Things happen. Because maybe and then your partner probably could think, well, maybe things could happen because they've happened with me, they've happened with somebody else, they've happened somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. So does having like baggage, like a lot of partners, makes it easier for you to have other relationships? Simply because maybe your partner is busy working. It happens. A lot of things happen. A lot of things happen. I'm not saying that's the way, not at all. I'm just how let's say how lonely or how fulfilled are you? How secure are you? And do you really have to know your lover's past? That's another thing. Do you really have to know what that person did? Like some people ask, they'll ask. And then that's kind of weird too. It's weird. It's strange, right? It's strange. It's very, very strange. But it's part of relationships. Or how about the person that, you find out, you put the person's phone number in on the internet. And then you find out all they have a Instagram, you find out their Facebook, you find out a lot of details about them that they don't particularly talk about, but then you notice their friends. They got a lot of like opposite sex friends, people of the opposite sex on their social media. Again, and you notice, and little comments. I'll never forget when we did this. I'll never remember when we did this. Hey, how you doing? How's everything? Things are cool, like that. And let's get real here. I mean, what you start to think about? Gee, all these connections. Connections. Well, it's something that sometimes it's helpful to have talkings, readings, not even how do you deal? How would you deal? Let's say, how would you deal? How would you deal with your lovers, past lovers? Are they baggage or are they luggage? Something you can just take with you and throw in the corner. It's just, like suitcases stay in the closet? Or is it something that, you know, it's a weight? It's a weight, it's an ankle weight. Well, some people find that a burden, finding out about their lover's past. And how does it affect the matrimony? The Four of Wands. Yes, how does that affect? Ooh, it seems like all past lovers' effect on the relationship is quite intense. We have this Ten of Swords, and oh no, not the Nine of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands on the relationship. It ain't a good thing, right? It's not a good thing. Stay away, stay away, stay away. It's not a good thing. It could possibly, it affects a relationship, a union, negatively to have past lovers. In other words, past lovers are baggage. They are not something that is exactly wonderful. But a lot of people deal with it. And also, it's an insight to what type of person your lover is attracted to. And more than that, too. But, like, I know someone who takes business trips. I don't know them well, but I know of. And they take business trips and they do whatever they want. Like they pretend that they're free. Things like that. But that's not what we're talking about. But it's all in that vein. It's all in that kind of vein, right? So, but I would think that that's not a very good. That's not a very good place. Having lovers, knowing about your lover's lovers. So, how would you handle that? Is it best to keep quiet? It's best to keep quiet. It's best to close those doors. Close those doors. If you want a happy relationship, it's best to close those doors. And, well, what if there's children involved? Keep it minimal. Well, that's, it's always like a creaky floor when you have, I mean, you could be friends. You could be friends. I mean, you could be friends. In fact, it's good for the children to be friends. But we're not talking about so much the mother or the father of the children. We're talking about the relationships that did not have children, relationships that happened in the past. So that's what we're talking about here. And how you deal with it, if you deal with it. And that is something. I mean, you have to be, it depends upon how naive you are, or how sophisticated, or just your degree of caring, which could be a combination of both. It could be a combination of both. It could be. Don't you think? Does anybody have any comments? Does anybody want to walk that thin line of saying, yeah, my lover's My lovers, ex-love. My lovers, they bug me. I don't think about them. I don't think about them. Who? I'm the only one. I don't have time for this. All these things. Any excuse not to deal with it. Well, oh, I have a question. I have a question. Yes. If you have a situation like this, what would you do? How do you feel? If you want to ask any questions or you want to chat and say hi, just say hi. I understand. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about it, but it's good to talk about these things. It's good to talk about and to go beyond your usual train of thought. That you would at least, maybe not train of thought, but what you would say. Sometimes you think about it after it's over, or when you think about it. You would think about it. If you would like to have a reading, I'll be here for a little bit on this topic. That was cute. I have someone who wants to know if it's possible. This person wants to know, can she get a man who has no past lovers? Can she get a man with no past lovers? This person wants to know. Let's see. Let's blow out this candle so we won't start another torch. All right, and we'll do the kitty cat cards on this one. We'll do the pegging cats. The pegging cats. Is it, this person wants to know, is it possible to get a lover who does not have a past? That's an interesting one. I can do that. Is it possible to find a fresh love with no past? There. Is it possible? Which one of these kitties would give us the insight? This one says think. Let's see now. Is it possible to find a lover who has no past? Who has no past lovers? Let's see this one. All right, we'll do this one. All right, let's start with this. All right, the first pegging cat we pulled. This is a question. Is it possible to have a lover with no past be the first? Ooh, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles. A beautiful pussycat. So, this is our first card. Look upon it. Is it possible to have a lover with no past loves? Meaning somebody who has been busy working and going to school and just had no time. Oh, and we have the Ace of Wands. Somebody's been, people do hold out. People, not everyone has partners. The Ace of Wands. Look at this pussycat. Feeling so intense it scorched all the leaves off of this tree. You know how cats are. I know how cats are. And a lot of my listeners know how cats are. Meow. Judgment card. Justice card is judgment. Justice. Well, to each is possible. To each what they see in the mirror image. The mirror image. You can find a mirror image. You can find someone who has no lovers, had no lovers. Look at that. Yes, I would say based on this reading, here is the page of the knight. No, yeah, the knave of pentacles, which is like the page of pentacles, the beginning. Yes, it's very possible to find a lover who does not have a past. It is very, and these cards here, because it gets, if it's what you're looking for, and that's partly, it's what you want, you can very well find it. You can very well find it because we have the Queen of Pentacles, new love, justice, mirror image, and we have the beginnings of the first, the first. So I would say yes, it's very, 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 very possible. And I think that you will have a lover who has no past loves. You will find your mirror image. So that's what we see. We can see that one clearly. Opportunity is there. Queen of Pentacles, that's you. The beginnings of a new love. Yes. And the mirror, justice, is the mirror image. Yes, it's very possible. And something's coming up your way. An opportunity will come your way to find what you're looking for. Well, it seems as though if I will keep this open for a little bit longer, and if I get another reading, that will be fine. And if not, I will do something else. So I'll leave this up for a little bit. And if anyone would like a reading, don't hesitate to pop me a question. Well, if there's no desire for a reading, I will go out into the cosmos and ponder other things. If anyone would like one, you can email me. It was cold.